with it. As the immortal person said when his mic was live, just go with it. Hello everyone out there in video game land. How are you all after the pixelation process? Good, I hope. I am 99% comprised of just 6 elements: oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, calcium, and phosphorus, Ben Rosenthal. And I am joined here tonight by... what are you? The cheese behind the keys?
The cheese behind the keys.
No keys, all cheese. Tonight on the desk is our resident social media guru, Anto.
I was going to say stable at the table, but sure, okay.
I know, there's only there's not alliteration, what is it? It's rhymes. Anyway. And Manny, no, that's a bit wrong. Personing the desk tonight, the controls, is the fabled Jazz, sitting in again because we're a person down. Hey, Jazz, how you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Is your mic on?
I have no idea.
Good.
Let's just hope Jazz's mic is on, because if not, we're going to be talking to ourselves.
I don't know if they can hear me.
Oh, well. Anyway, we have got a show with a fair bit of news. A little bit of news happened in the past 2 weeks, Anto. But before we get into that, I just want to address why you're here tonight and Floppy isn't. Now, you know, I always make a light situation of whenever Floppy's not here, he's, got, diarrhea of the butthole. We all know I'm joking. The true reason that Floppy isn't here tonight, it's quite an amazing story. We were playing Fortnite the other night, he and I together, just streaming, playing, winning all the victory royales. We were just killing it. And halfway through, there was this crash on Floppy's end, and he went, oh no. And it sounded, I thought he was getting swatted. And I went, what's going on, Floppy? And he said, shh, just quiet. Guy in a black suit's just walked in. And I heard on my end, they didn't realize that he was still streaming, that Floppy is so good at video games that they've actually ushered him away this week to teach starfighters how to fight in space.
That's pretty impressive.
I know. I was really, really impressed.
Especially if they picked him for his Fortnite gameplay.
There's not even spaceships in there.
I know.
That's how good he is.
Most recent update was giant lizards.
Yep. So he's all around that. So Floppy is not here tonight, but he will be back after he has done his training with the illegal people.
The illegal people. Love it.
Yes. Anyway, before we get into the massive events of the previous week, Anto, what have you been playing and doing lately?
Basically the same thing every time I get some free time, which is playing Final Fantasy XIV. If you haven't heard, it's got a free trial where you can play up to level 60 and includes the first award-winning expansion, Heaven's Ward, for free. I've just been doing that because it's great and a good time, but also trying to reset my sleep schedule because I'm moving on to overnights and working from 11:30 till 8 o'clock in the morning.
That's disgusting.
And sucks.
Yes, that is awful. How are you rebooting your sleep patterns?
Forcing myself to stay awake until roughly 8 o'clock in the morning, and then going to bed and waking up any time between 1 and 4 p.m.
Yuck. That's gross.
Yeah.
That is gross. So tell us, Final Fantasy XIV.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Well, I know why, but what makes you keep going back to it?
Well, I keep going back to it personally because it's a Final Fantasy game. But it's an MMO, so massively multiplayer online. I have a group of very good close friends who play it with me. It's just fun. It's got a really solid single player aspect because the story is very focused on your character being super important. It just hits all of the beats that you want from a good fantasy story.
Dragons?
There's dragons abound
Wizards?
in the current expansion we're playing. One of my guildmates is a summoner.
No, I didn't ask summoner. No, wizard with pointy hat and beard.
You could have a pointy hat and beard if you wanted to.
Is it a hot wizard? Like wizard that either works out a lot or puts a buff spell on? Can you put buff spells on?
Yes.
Hey, I want some pecs.
You can also play as a naked pant-wearing man who is very buff if you wish to.
Well, he's not naked if he's wearing pants, is he?
As naked as you can be without it being an M-rated game, yes.
Well, that's boring. Get your act together, Final Fantasy XIV. What do you think this is? Cool. So, it's just a comfort game for you?
Pretty much. It's not super duper challenging. They just released Australian servers, so lag is no longer an issue, which is nice. It's fun to play, comfortable, full of references to the series. It's just a good time. And if you've got, $16 a month free that you want to spend on a game that is free for the first 2 expansions, which you don't need to pay for, then do it.
Cool. What if you don't like Final Fantasy?
I would say if you like fantasy in any sort of way, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, any of that kind of stuff, it's probably a good jumping in point for the series.
What if you don't like blue?
If you don't like blue, then you're out of luck because there's a lot of blue.
See, no, too much blue. Anyway, I've been playing a couple of games this week. First one being, I dove into Nintendo Online and cracked out the old Donkey Kong Country 2.
Hey.
Still one of the greatest platformers ever. Like, honestly, holds up. The controls are so freaking pinpoint accurate. The level design is amazing. It's just a really good platformer. Just so much better than the original one. And I don't know why I prefer this over Donkey Kong Country 3, but I always have.
Okay, controversial opinion. I prefer 3 to 2 because I played it first. But I
Right.
think objectively 2 is a better game.
Right.
Like, I think 3 just has a lot of nostalgia for me because it's the first one.
Yeah,
I
so
played.
you've got that heartstring
That bias.
goes a
Yes.
plug-in. Why have I brought up Donkey Kong Country 1 here? That's crazy.
This is 2.
Oh, yeah, it is 2.
That is 2.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
It's been a day. But yeah, fantastic game. What's really, really cool is, so this is the very first game I 100%ed. Well,
Oh, wow.
102%ed. I obsessed over it. I remembered where a majority of the bonus levels were. I haven't finished it again yet because old man reflexes is a real thing. Yeah, we need some community service ads that just warn people of my age that as you go on, your video game skills, they tend to go away a little bit, and the old man reflexes take over, and you're not as good, and it's really annoying. So just be aware, everyone. Old man reflexes are a thing. Probably explains why a majority of old people drive 30 k's below the speed limit.
Or 30 k's above the speed limit if you're in the UK.
Really? You got the opposite problem over there.
Yeah, opposite problem, and also old drivers in the UK are more comfortable on single-lane country roads, so they drive at 110 kilometers per hour, and then when they get to expressways and stuff, they do like 20. It's very strange.
Good. Sounds like good times for everyone. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2, that's a fun time. Other things as well, obviously Fortnite, the Green Goblin skin came out today, so you better believe I ran home and grabbed it. Looks awful. Like, it's just an awful design. I hate it so much, but I'm going to play it because Norman's my boy. And this little game, which as we are recording this, has just come out in Australia. I am, of course, referring to Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, I was playing it when you rocked up, weren't you, Anto? I also got the steel case, which is there, but that's very pretty.
And also supporting everything you see on the table, so we're not going to show it off.
I picked it up. Now, it's well documented that RPGs, I sort of hate the grind at the start with all your tutorials and whatnot. Of course, Yakuza being the biggest one where I didn't play for the first hour because it was just a big cutscene. And I just went, no, I'm not playing it. And I actually had someone come up to me one time who listens to the podcast and said, Ben, you complained about Yakuza, but you like Kojima games.
I was just going to say, Metal Gear Solid 4 is probably the most guilty video game of cutscenes and tutorials over content.
But the best part about that is that it's Kojima, so it's therefore brilliant and breathtaking.
It is the second coming of everything Jesus.
Exactly. So Pokemon Arceus, I've probably played the first hour and a bit. Very much Monster Hunter Light. Very, very much. So, I won't give away any spoilers because I know a lot of people are playing it or have yet to play it. But it is very much the, hey, do this. Walk 3 steps, cutscene, explain something. Now go over there, walk 3 steps, cutscene, explain something. Now go back to where you were, walk 3 steps, cutscene, explain something. And there's no skip button.
That's
It's
annoying.
like, you're not great storytellers, Pokemon. You've been telling the same story for the past 30 years. I think that we've earned the right to skip to the end if we want to. But other than that, I really enjoy the controls so far. The sneaking up on Pokemon, just throwing a ball at their face is great. I love throwing all my balls at all cute animals. Well, all right. It's not so much a spoiler. It's a bit of a retcon. So permit me this. They are saying, obviously it's in the past, in the Sinnoh region. Before it was Sinnoh, it's now called, was it Hisui?
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 Hisui? I can't remember.
Yeah, one of them. They have.
Holy crap! That Shinx just went in.
Yeah, he's battling. Shinx is a great little lion man. What they have done is they've retconned the whole Pokemon going into the Pokeballs. They said, all Pokemon have the ability to shrink down to a little size.
All Pokemon are now Ant-Man.
Yeah. So they can basically not only form lightning bolts out their eyes, they can also shrink down to microscopic size and quite comfortably live in these little balls that I throw at their face. See, whereas I always thought, and it was my understanding that they were digitized. We were having this discussion before, but you mentioned that, if it's taking place in the past, then...
Yeah, like I don't know how many years prior to the original series or mainline series it takes or is set, but, they've got ninjas like Koga, they've got psychics, they've got all these crazy, people with different skills and abilities. It's probably some kind of magic or something.
Yep.
I don't know, it's Pokemon.
That's the best kind of storytelling. When you go, I don't know, magic or something.
I don't know, Deus Ex Machina, let's go.
Yeah, just because. Shut up. Hey, it's like we're writing Doctor Who. Yeah, we won't get into that. But overall, I think I'm going to enjoy it. It's not an open world, which makes sense. It is very much you go to a hub area, just like Monster Hunter, and you have to fulfill... Like, basically, there's a whole game of fetch quests. You have the main... core storyline, which is fetch quest. Basically, the whole idea is to complete the Pokédex, which is great because that's what I love about Pokemon games: collecting shinies and finishing the Pokédex. That's what I get for it. I don't really get into the meta battling and that much anymore.
I thought you were 100% going to say, the main goal is to fill the Pokédex. 10 out of 10, perfect storytelling.
Yeah, well, it is. I really like the mechanics so far. I think it's definitely a really good step into what Pokemon will slowly become.
Yeah.
I think.
From what I've seen of you play it this afternoon, I think it's going to rekindle my interest in playing it.
I hope so, because you said you didn't dig Diamond and Pearl that much.
Brilliant Diamond. Was it Brilliant Diamond or Shining Diamond? I can't remember.
Brilliant Diamond,
Either
Shining
way,
Pearl.
BDSM, let's go with that.
Who's throwing balls at faces now?
You. The remakes of Diamond and Pearl, I didn't have any nostalgia for them. I played Heart Gold and Soul Silver before touching Diamond and Pearl in any way. So I think my nostalgia is for that sort of style and generation of the series. And this one just didn't gel with me, so I sort of stopped.
Did you say you played Sword and Shield?
I did, but I also hated it.
Because it was in your hometown?
No. I had a part to play, but no, I felt like it was taking 50 hours to get to a plot point that could have taken 2.
Yeah, well, they got a pad.
Yeah, it's just, I'm not into that. If I'm going to play a game that requires me to spend more than 50 hours, it's going to be something that I know I enjoy.
Hey, Jazz.
Yeah?
What's your favourite part of Pokemon?
When you turn it off.
Pokemon Gun for Game of the Year.
Speaking of turning off, we don't want you to turn off. In fact, we want to turn you on to our podcast over on all podcast apps, or over on youtube.com/hackthedino or on twitch.tv/hackthedino, where we stream the live recording of our podcast each and every fortnight and then cut it up and post it on all the podcast apps. But if that's way too much to remember, head on over to hackthedino.com. Be sure to follow all the links. There's links there to our merch. There's links there to our socials, which you're doing very, very well at, Anto.
You say doing very, very well at. In the last week, I've been locked out of a Facebook account, and I'll need you to get me back into it later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Not for any nefarious reasons. Just I got rid of my personal Facebook account, and now I don't have access to the Dino one, so I'll need to get back into that.
I'm not that fussed about Facebook. It's the destroyer of all democracy.
Meta.
So the TikTok and Instagrams and whatnot. I tell you what, the Instagram algorithm is really, really good to us. Really
it's
good.
Doing well.
Really good. So head on over there. Be sure to like, subscribe, tell your friends. I put up 1 second. 1 second? Yeah, it's probably about all the good content we have. 1 minute snippets of the show that you can quite easily show friends and go, hey, this is really good. You should subscribe and follow them and worship them with all your balls. I don't know. Speaking of balls...
It
Xbox.
took Xbox some goddamn balls to buy Activision Blizzard.
They've got big old dingleberries hanging around because, in case you didn't realise, Xbox, or Microsoft specifically, has purchased Blizzard Activision for close to $70 billion US.
Wasn't it 68.7 US
Whatever.
billion?
Like, when you got that much money.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who didn't know, that is, I think, half of Microsoft's liquid assets.
Mm-hmm.
Half of Microsoft's, the fourth biggest company in the world, half of their assets that they've purchased.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Like, wow. Like, I still remember logging into Discord when I woke up, and Michael Towns, one of our moderators and supporters in our Hack the Dino Discord, which you can join just by heading over to...
hackthedino.com.
Yeah, or bit.ly/hackthedino. Posted the news and said, I can't wait to hear Ben's reaction when he gets up and reads this. And my goodness, I was blown away. Now, we've made a public statement that we weren't going to talk about Blizzard Activision. Obviously, we are now because this is huge news. Also, on the positive side, Phil Spencer has come out and basically said, we look forward to bringing Blizzard and Activision in with us. We can see it on the screen now. Into our creative space where everyone is equal. And basically saying the higher-ups are bye-byes. It's been revealed... How do you pronounce his name?
What we're trying to say is we don't support Bobby Kotick or any of the culture that he's created at Activision Blizzard. We're glad that Phil Spencer is doing something about it, hopefully.
Well, it's already been pretty much confirmed that he's going to be given a golden handshake and sent on his way.
He's going to get his golden parachute. He's going to be paid $300 million to leave.
Yeah.
But get out of here. Take your $300 million and go die in a capitalist fire. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about that jerk. Got a couple of points here I just want to throw your way, Anto, to discuss. Sure. So the first one being COD.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. So this year, 2021, Call of Duty was the most sold and the second most sold game for 2021. This is worth $120 million a year to Sony. So this is a game which is now going to be owned by their main opposition.
Yep.
So far, Xbox has... Phil Spencer came out and said that he spoke to his offsiders.
They spoke to their friends at Sony.
Yes, offsiders at Sony. To let them know that they'll honour all agreements, moving forward. However, it's been revealed that there's only a commitment to release COD 2022, 2023, and Warzone 2 in 2023. And after that, who knows?
Yep.
Now, of course, Sony came out as soon as they could and just said, congratulations. We expect you to honour all your agreements.
Yeah, it was a very sternly worded, congratulations, you douche.
Yeah. But you know what? It's not a thing between friends. It's a business. Xbox have always lagged behind.
Always.
The only way they can get up is to buy properties, and that's exactly what they're doing. And why wouldn't you go for the biggest one there is? Apparently, EA was also in the
under consideration.
Yeah, EA were trying to buy it as well. And I mean, well, that's like for like, isn't it?
Yes.
But it's just weird that Xbox now owns Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, I thought that was weird as well. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense for certain properties to be on certain platforms. Specifically, Crash, Spyro, and Final Fantasy, to me, don't make sense not being on PlayStation. Not to say they shouldn't be, just my brain doesn't see those games' UIs with anything but square, circle, triangle, and cross. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Triple India in the chat has just said, you don't spend $70 billion to make friends.
I mean, some people do.
That's brilliantly put. All right, so what do we think this means for the future of video games? Is this setting a really dangerous precedent? Is this going to start off a different kind of console war where it's not about games going out, but who can buy up the most properties?
I think it is. My opinion is that it does set a sort of dangerous trend that could start. If companies with this much money are able to just buy up entire other companies because they want to, we could see Amazon buy EA or, any other giant AAA publisher and producer and segregate the market even more.
Well, you've got also rumours coming out lately that Apple are looking into bringing out a console as well, finally. It's just going to really heat up because if you got Apple's buying power and they're getting studios, they've obviously already got Apple Arcade, which is pretty good. It was nothing groundbreaking. But, I mean, you can't compete with someone who has that type of money who will just buy up these assets.
Yep.
Floppy, I was speaking to him about it, was really, really worried about it. because he thinks that it's just going to create a monopoly and blah blah blah. Me, for once, I'm looking on the optimistic side.
Okay. I will play devil's advocate this time around. Then
Good. So optimistically, I'm thinking it gives the opportunity for some of these lower end studios, so like the A studios, not the AAA studios, the B studios and whatnot.
Yeah,
the independent
the
studios.
smaller sort of teams within companies to.
Yeah, so it would appear to me, or make sense to me, that like Sony and Nintendo will either pump money into them to sign up exclusive games, not necessarily buy them, but pump more money into them to get new and exclusive IPs for their consoles in order to make more and interesting new creative IPs.
Yeah.
I think it's, if we're being completely optimistic, which is very strange for me, which is why I'm stumbling over my words, it could be opportunity for people to leave these big AAA studios and start up their own studios, which we saw during the week. The Yakuza team
have started their own development studio, which is going to be interesting.
So stuff like that. Like, what if we start to see those guys sort of come to predominance, and maybe Candy Crush Saga doesn't do as well anymore because they come up with Candy Cane Saga? I don't know. I
agree with what Jazz just said. Everyone should just start coming up with ideas and floating it to whatever studio wants to make the game.
Yeah.
But I do have some thoughts on the whole Microsoft versus Sony thing, because I think Nintendo, no matter what, are just going to do what they do.
Yep.
They've very successfully cornered their own part of the market and have done for their entire existence as a video game company. The handheld space is effectively theirs. So they don't have to worry at all. But as far as Sony and Microsoft go, it's eventually going to become a battle of who can throw more cash at a studio. At least that's the fear Floppy, and a few others probably have. As far as the legality of it goes, I'm not a lawyer or an expert in laws around monopolies, but
I am. Let me tell you that it's all fine.
Yeah, it's bordering on.
It's not. It is
becoming a monopoly. Is how I feel it might be.
From what I read, most people expect it to go through, but
it will. Microsoft have got the lawyers and the money to do it. very closely looked at. And I mean, obviously, they would have gone through all of this. But the thing that got me is, how'd they keep it quiet? Yeah, this feels like something that we should have heard about prior to it happening. But
it must have been the highest levels up, and no one else.
Or they wanted to keep it quiet purely because of the amount of backlash Activision Blizzard have got this year so far.
Well,
sorry, not even this year so far. Last year and now.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah. All right. Let's end it on a somewhat optimistic note. What IPs do you think Phil would want to bring back? Because he's gone out and said that he does want to bring some back. Once he's dropped Spyro, Guitar Hero. He name-dropped Hexen, which I'm very excited about. Or StarCraft as well. He also mentioned he was a fan of StarCraft.
I want them to bring back, I don't know if it ever got released, but I'm pretty sure it was a thing, Starcraft Ghost. It was a third-person action-adventure game planned for the GameCube, PS2, and original Xbox, and it became vaporware, and nothing ever happened with it, and it looked super cool. So if they want to bring that back, I'm all in. I'm also super in for them to bring Guitar Hero or Rock Band or something similar
I
back.
thought you would be.
Just because if I get a free moment where it's not, 3 a.m. and clicking doesn't wake people up, I'll play Guitar Hero. It's just fun.
What does Epic own?
Huh?
Epic owns...
They bought Harmonix.
Which did?
They originally did Guitar Hero before Activision bought them.
So...
And then they did Rock Band.
Okay. So who owns the right to... So Activision presumably owns the rights,
Activision
not the
will own
studio.
the rights to Guitar Hero.
Right.
But Harmonix as a studio made Rock Band afterwards. So if it's going to be a music rhythm game that Microsoft put out, it'll be a revival of Rock Band or something similar, I would imagine.
With a different dev team.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, understood. Speaking of different dev teams, there was a developer on Twitter and on Reddit by the name of Dragon_GameDev. And he shared a video of his progress on a first-person shooter. First-person shooters, dime a dozen. No, this is a first-person shooter where you're shooting Pokemon.
Pokemon Gun.
There you go. The Pokemon run at you, you've got a gun, and you shoot the little Pikachu in the face.
Yes.
So not only can you throw your balls at the face, you can also shoot all over their face as well. Just what every Pokemon person wants. Surprisingly, Nintendo's taken this down.
Yeah, I'm not surprised in any way, shape, or form.
Who would have thought?
They put the RPG in Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, the most disturbing part here is the blood that comes out.
Yeah, not a fan. Like
Yeah.
that's very jarring to see.
Yeah, he's going up against the legendary birds here, and like, oh, I mean, the gameplay looks pretty simple, but for a one-person team, this is pretty impressive visually.
Yeah, like mechanically and on a technical level, being able to pull this off by yourself is pretty... I mean, that looks like it's ripped straight out of Immortals Phoenix Rising, but yeah, it's impressive for a one-person development studio.
Triple Indy again in the comments has said, the real Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Poacher. However, if you do crave... So obviously this is being kiboshed and stopped. And
The
it's not
Nintendo ninjas have been sent.
Nintendo said, no, sorry, it's not happening. If you do want some dose of animal cruelty, Power World has released their new trailer. Now, do you remember Power World at all, Anto?
I can honestly say I do not remember Power World.
So Power World is a new game coming out on Steam, where it's sort of between Pokemon and sort of an open world Pokemon.
Pokemon AK-47 ears.
But you're a Pokemon trainer, but you also have guns. And you capture Pokemon and force them to work as slaves.
Jesus, that's even worse than the originals.
Yep.
That's just a straight-up hybrid of Mareep and Raichu.
Oh, yeah, it's very much that. You combine your pals into an egg and then launches this big old combination of the two. It looks really, really pretty.
It does look nice.
But yeah, you have guns and like the bad guys, the Team Rocket type people. They have guns, so we can see
Oh my God.
Uzi there, and they're just firing down the...
Totorochu using a minigun.
Yep.
Jeebus.
And here we go. You can see on the screen now Pokemon captured being scientifically experimented on. So, yeah, if you want to see cute little animals getting their guns ready for their owners, and
Whoa!
little cute Pokemon being eaten by large dinosaur Pokemon, and explosions with Pokemons being thrown against the wall, then Power World is for you.
Jesus.
He's probably in it too.
That is a bit much.
Well, it's out on Steam soon, so you can play it then. Yeah, what a game. What a game.
What?
The look of shock on your face there.
I'm just... Along with that and the whole first-person Pokemon murder simulator, just... I wasn't ready for today, I don't think.
Wow.
Plus, I've only been awake for 5 and a bit hours.
So, 2022 is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be a fun time to have a look at the top 5 video game rumors now that we're in 2022. What are we hearing on the grapevine that may or may not come to fruition? Now, none of these have really any solid evidence, but may just be rumors, which is why we're listing what we would like to see. So here we are, the top 5 2022 video game rumors, with the first one being a new Tomb Raider trilogy to begin. So Crystal Dynamics celebrated 2021 by acknowledging its 25-year anniversary of Tomb Raider and that the Nintendo Switch versions were coming in 2022. But due to COVID, it was possible they were coming out last year. But, Global Bastard will do that.
I like to, thanks to the Game Grumps, refer to it as the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
Of what?
COVID. Backstreet Boys reunion tour. It's just nobody wanted it and it's still happening.
All right. Crystal Dynamics were hiring a lighting artist for a Tomb Raider project in 2021. The studio also made an announcement last year that the next game will unify the Reboot series with the classic games, signifying the next game in the series is in the works or at least being planned out. What do we think about this rumor, Anto?
I think if they can tie it successfully into, like, if it happens and they do tie it into the first 3 games, the PlayStation Trilogy or whatever, it'll be really interesting to see how they've done it. Whether it will happen this year or not, I think realistically it's probably a bit of a stretch to think it will.
Right.
I think, COVID and development has just been... It's been hell for reasons beyond what we've experienced as general people and consumers of these kinds of things. So, yeah, it would be interesting to see. I liked are we calling it the Reboot trilogy, I guess?
Well, is it a Reboot trilogy? Or
is it a prequel trilogy? Like,
I'd say it's a prequel, isn't it?
Yeah. I liked them. They're fun. Basically, just it's Uncharted with a Lara Croft skin, effectively, is how I feel about them, and that's not a bad
Which
thing.
is Indiana Jones with a...
Yeah, exactly. It's just a fun adventure game. If they can tie it into the originals, I'd be happy to see how they do it. But yeah, I don't think it'll happen this year. We'll get an announcement maybe, but they won't come out this year.
All right. Rumor number 2 in the top 5 for 2022. This one's already been kind of announced, so it's cheating a little bit, but I added a little bit of spicy meatball on the end.
Okay.
Jedi Fallen Order 2 will be announced and released in 2022. So Respawn has been hiring new game developments and environment designers. Reports claim that the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2 would be revealed in June before June, which people are saying May 4th. And will
May
be
4th
released,
would be the perfect day to do it.
Yep. To be released in quarter 4 this year. Now, you say that, yeah, it would be the perfect day to do it. Lucasfilm came out. Was it Lucasfilm? No, it was Respawn. No, Lucasfilm came out and announced the other day during the week that they've got 3 projects in development.
Ooh.
One of which is, Fallen Order 2.
Yeah.
So they announced it via tweet or something. It was so anticlimactic. But yeah, they're working on it. There are still heavy rumors that it will release at the end of the year. What were the other 2? One was a strategy game, and I think the other was an adventure game.
Okay. I mean, if it's adventure, then, sequel to, what was it called? Shadow of the Empire on N64?
Oh, jeez.
That's what I want.
Really?
Do it, you cowards.
Do you know that game is responsible for giving us a Hoth level in every single Star Wars game that ever came about?
Yep.
I think, it's a possibility. They've obviously been working on it since the first one came out. When did the first one came out?
I think it was 2018 or 2019. It's been a couple of years since this one came out.
Yeah, so I'd say 19. So obviously they've been working on it. They'd have the engine. I'm assuming they'd have the storyline already sort of primarily there. You don't really get to do these things with Disney unless you've got a path to more money.
Yes, path to more money. Not necessarily a full-fledged plan as such, but it'd be hard to think that after a couple of years they wouldn't at least have the scenario and storyline plotted out, ready for actual development to start. So,
did you happen to see today they released footage of Amy Hennig's cancelled Star Wars 113 game?
Was that the one that was cancelled pre-COVID?
Yes, correct.
I didn't see it today, but I'm familiar with it.
She showed footage, or she didn't, but some footage was shown of Boba Fett.
Okay.
Chasing someone down through Coruscant.
See, I think I did see it today, but I assumed it was like a cut thing from The Mandalorian or something that I hadn't watched.
No. So, yeah, that came out. Apparently, you were going to start the game as a bounty hunter, unknown bounty hunter, new character, and that bounty hunter would get hunted down by Boba Fett, at which point you would switch to being Boba Fett and continue playing the rest of the game as different people.
That's very cool. That would have been interesting as hell.
So they've taken a lot of that, I think, and put into the new game. It's just a pity that it got cancelled, that's all. Next rumour. Ghost of Tsushima and Bloodborne to PC. Leaks indicated that Ghost of Tsushima could be coming as soon as February. The same way we found out about Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone were going to be coming to PC. The PlayStation only label was removed from the box art on Amazon. So that's happened to these 2 games as well.
Okay. Interesting that, given that Ghost of Tsushima got a re-release for PS5 quite recently, that there's already rumors of it coming to PC. I would have thought they'd wait at least another 6 months.
Well, I mean, depends. I guess they like money. And it really is a wonderful game. I honestly think that PlayStation may even look at bringing more and more and more of their games to PC, especially their exclusive ones.
I think they're going to now because of the Xbox thing.
Really?
They need that extra revenue stream, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they? This is Sony.
Yeah.
They're not as big as Microsoft, but it's Sony.
It is Sony, but you mentioned it earlier, the big 4 companies, it's Amazon, Microsoft, and 2 others, which I don't know of. Sony aren't in that 4, as far as I know. So I wouldn't say they need the revenue stream, but they'd be stupid to not take what is effectively free money.
Yeah.
Because the PS5 is just a PC in a box.
Well, that's all consoles, isn't it?
Nah, maybe not the Switch. It's more like a smartphone.
It's more of a hamster going around on a wheel.
Yeah.
The Bloodborne rumor has been going around since 2020. So whether that's
Bloodborne
actually
to
happening,
PC rumor has been since 2016. That's been ongoing for a while.
I think specifically the upgraded version that came to the
Yeah.
PS5 is what they're hoping for. Look, do you want to read out this next one?
I reckon so.
All right.
Are you sure you don't want to take this one? It's something close to your heart.
It's close to my heart, but not as close as the one after it.
So, continuing from late last year, Chrono Cross is supposedly coming to PS5. That's all well and good. Chrono Cross, as far as I know, never came out in Australia or Europe or the UK. It was very much an America and Japan only thing.
Yeah, I believe so.
So it's weird that would come out first, and they wouldn't bring something like a Chrono Trigger remake in the style of Octopath Traveler or Project Triangle Strategy.
Where is that? Like, are you reading my notes, or is that just something you believe in as well? And you've gone, yeah, Ben's right.
I remember your notes. I haven't had a chance to read them yet.
Well,
I'm putting my own spin on it.
Do it. Go. But yes, I agree.
But yeah, it's very strange that a game that's been ported from the Super Nintendo to the DS to the PlayStation and to smartphones hasn't been given even like a modern sort of HD upscale even.
And it's not like it's a game that won't sell.
No, it just will.
People are buying the Super Nintendo cartridge for $700-800.
Yeah. It's one of those games that, it's either people love Chrono Trigger and don't play other RPGs, or they love Chrono Trigger and then are still mad that Final Fantasy and other Final Fantasy games and Square RPGs aren't Chrono Trigger. So it's culturally relevant enough to do well.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they're going to do it, they need to just do like a pixel remaster, similar to what Square have done with Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yep.
Or just straight up port.
Yeah.
Don't change it. It's already perfect.
Yep. Yep. Put it out on the Nintendo.
Put it on the Switch.
Thing. Yep.
Just
put everything on
Switch. Switch Online as a digital release. Let Limited Run put it out on a cartridge, and I'll spend $70 on it. I'll do it.
I'll spend much more than that.
I'll do it.
It's one of my grail items, Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we're talking about Chrono Cross. Now, I've got some notes there that suggest that the Chrono Cross remaster remake is indeed happening. Do you want to go through some of them?
Yeah. So, the title's existence was first sort of hinted at or revealed following a leak through the NVIDIA GeForce library update thing that happened back in September. There are a bunch of titles in there. Outcast 2, God of War getting a PC port was part of that as well. So that kind of lends a little bit of, what's the word, credibility?
Sure.
Credibility, relevance? I don't know. It just makes it seem like that's probably going to be a thing that happens. There was also a crossover with another property called Another Eden, which was a mobile RPG, probably a free-to-play one.
It is.
And was it co-creator? Like one of the writers of Chrono Trigger?
Yes.
Was part of that as well?
Kato?
Masato Kato,
Yep.
yeah. So, yeah, it feels like it's coming, and there just needs to be more news, because I know this guy's excited for it, at least. And
yeah.
I'd be keen to play it too, because I've never had even the spoons to emulate Chrono Cross.
I've got it in there.
Yeah.
It's in my Chrono Trigger collection.
Of course it is.
Yeah, hopefully soon. Right.
Kojima time.
Yes. So, the number one rumor we've got coming into this year is, of course, the Silent Hill reboot announcement by Kojima and Del Toro. So there's not a whole lot to go on with this besides Del Toro trolling us during the Game Awards this year. I don't know if you recall, but Kojima came out and said a thank you to the Game Awards audience.
Game Awards. I'm not there this year, but I will be at some point.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then Del Toro announced an award, and he was talking about how talented Kojima is, and it was an honor to work with him. And then he said, he's been behind a lot of really cool games like this, like that, like Silent Hill. Man, that's a really good game. Someone should bring that back. Anyway, it's like, you cheeky person.
It was almost directed at you specifically.
Yeah. Yep. So what we've got to go on this, in June 2021, Kojima shared that he was reading The Silent Wife by Karen Slaughter and Full Throttle by Joe Hill. Hey? Hey?
Huh?
Hey? That's some Kojima crap going on.
I see what you're putting
there.
down.
Yeah.
Silent Hill.
Silent, yeah. Silent Wife.
Or Wife
Full
Hill and
throttle.
Slaughter Joe.
Yep. At this point, the connection is tenuous at best, but the bad blood between Kojima and Konami has been well documented. Bloober Team and Konami previously announced a strategic partnership for a joint development in June 2021. And that's all we've really got to go on at the moment. I just like the Kojima tweeting out that he's reading those books because that is such a Kojima thing.
Yeah, it's either him confirming it's happening in like the most roundabout way so he doesn't get in any kind of legal trouble ever, or it's just him trolling, knowing people want him to do it, and he's just like, nah.
As if Kojima would ever troll, though. Like, really. Seriously. So there we are. There are our top 5 rumors for 2022. We Are Robots has asked in the chat, any more Blue Box rumors? Well, keep on listening, We Are Robots, because we've got a doozy coming up very soon, all about Blue Box rumors, Blue Box games, Blue Box rumors, and their game Abandoned. But you'll have to keep on listening to that, or head on over to hackthedino.com to be sure you get all the latest news. Now, before we move on, those of you watching us on the video on demand or watching us live on Twitch can see in front of me some video game relics, we'll call them. Now, I had the opportunity to go to an individual's house who was selling a lot of his collection as he was moving to Queensland in a couple of weeks, and just said, look, just pick up what you want, put it in a pile, we'll work out a price. So I said, oh, okay, cool. And as I was going through it, I saw a couple of things. I got a lot of Nintendo, Wii, GameCube, and whatnot games that I haven't got out. But those of you who are watching us, and even if you're not, head on over to the Instagram because I put it all up there. Mr. Benjamin as well is my personal Instagram where I put up all my video game hauls. I have in front of me an almost complete set of Game.com. Now, do you know what Game.com is, Anto?
I'm quite familiar with it thanks to the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Okay, so explain it to us. What is Game.com?
It was the world's first touchscreen-based video game system.
Handheld system, yep.
Handheld system, specifically. Other than that, it's pretty forgettable, really.
Very forgettable. It's like a the personal planners?
It's like a PDA, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
PDA.
a personal computer, calendar, message book thing. But until they released the online package for it, which you've got, it kind of didn't function as one properly. It's got some what you would imagine to be really good video games on it, but they're just not. They're really bad ports.
All right, so let's explain to the podcast listeners. I'm holding the Game.com in my hand. It's about, what, say 20 centimeters across, or say 5 inches. It is it's not that heavy. It's no heavier than a Game Boy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's any heftier than the original Game Boy, like the Pocket Brick.
So Tiger, who used to make all those old, really poor handhelds that you used to purchase.
The LCD games.
Yeah.
Like Street Fighter 2, where you couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I've got that as well, just over there. I've also got Spider-Man and Aladdin. But yeah, it's got one of those screens in it. It's got a little, if you slide this out here, little PDF maker.
Little stylus.
Little stylus, so you can make appointments and whatnot. So you can not only play games on here, but you can keep appointments and everything. So yeah, as Anto mentioned, very first touchscreen on a handheld. Also very first internet connectivity, but only if you had this, which I've got in front of me now, which is the Game.com internet. So you basically plugged it in, and
It's
your
just
little
it's like an
PDA
external less than 56k modem. It's very bad.
very bad. But I've also got the link cable, so you can link it up to other ones that are still in the packet.
I think you could link it up to, 16 other game comms?
Yep.
For like multiplayer on
Yep.
the games that only supported it for 4 players or something?
Yep.
It was really weird.
It was great. But the most important part is the games. Now, in total, there were 21 games released with the Game.com. I was lucky enough in this bundle to get 18 of the 21 games, and I believe 16 of them are boxed.
16 of them are boxed.
So Lights View came as a pack-in, so
and
it
they
didn't
are
have a box.
complete.
So some of the games we've got here, we've got Fighters Megamix, which is Virtual Fighter. I've got Duke Nukem 3D.
Which, as you can imagine, on the Gamecom is not 3D.
No, I'm looking at it now. Look at that. You played.
It's very similar to, if anyone has played it, Phantasy Star, the original.
Yep.
It's very isometric-y, sort of 3D in that sort of forced 3D drawing perspective.
Yep.
That's how most of these games are.
Michael Towns in the chat has yelled out Sonic Jam. Yes, Sonic Jam was there as well.
Yep.
I've got Jurassic Park, The Lost World, which is something. Oh my gosh, I should take a picture of this because it looks like the T-Rex is a massive erected penis. Look at that.
Yikes.
I am going to take a picture of that, and that'll be up on benjamin.com or hackthedino.com straight after the show, so be sure to look out for that. Batman and Robin movie tie-in, so you can play Batman and Robin with all their bat nipples on thegame.com. And also Resident Evil 2. Now, it also has Mortal Kombat. Incidentally, some of these games go for stupid amounts of money. Resident Evil 2, I looked up, goes for about $120.
Yep. That's not even like in good condition either. And this box Ben's holding is
Very, very
near
good.
flawless. There's maybe a tiny bit of wear on the opening from when it was first picked up.
Yep.
And other than that,
So-
all of these are in really good condition.
Also in this bundle, I got this little one.
the Gamecom too.
Yeah, no, it's called a Pocket Pro.
Yeah.
The Gamecom Pocket Pro. So basically the Gamecom, but half the size. So that was in the bundle as well. So, Anto, considering how much all this is worth and the fact that it's a very rare, hard to get machine, how much would you expect that I would pay to get all this stuff?
Are you asking me to tell you what I already know? And
No,
that's
no,
how
no,
much
no,
you
no.
spent, or what I would expect to pay for this on eBay?
Learn to play the game, man.
No, I know. I'm
Learn to play the game,
calling
man.
you out
How
for a
much,
reason.
How much do you think?
I think, I think realistically, based on Resident Evil 2 alone, you would have spent close to $1,000, if not more, for all of this together.
Really? $1,000?
Yep.
Yeah, way overestimating.
I'm maybe putting more of a value on the nostalgia of this thing.
Possibly. Honestly,
Possibly.
if from what I've read and looked at, I can see probably $500-$600
Really?
as a bargain.
For 18 of the games, most of them boxed and
Yep.
complete? That doesn't...
Yep.
yeah.
I paid the grand total of $20.
Can I give you the finger on the show?
Yeah, go for it. That's like everyone's been saying the same thing. See, the thing is, I wasn't even going to collect this console, but when he said, I was at the guy's house and it was all bundled up together. I went, oh wow, game.com. He goes, oh yeah, you want it? And I said, oh nah. And he goes, like $20, you can have it. And I went, okay, sure, okay, I'll grab it.
I'll give you 40.
No.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
No. So
It's
doing a little
Persona all over again.
doing a little bit of research that this actually was released on my birthday in 1997. So I
No
now
joke.
have something that's tied into it. I think there's 3 games left that I need to get. One of them is Mortal Kombat, which I didn't think I had until I looked in
Looked
the
in the
side,
system.
and the cart is there.
Well, that's one of the weirder things about this system. Like the original, you can load 2 cartridges at once
Yep.
and then select from them.
Select which one you want to play.
And they cut that feature out for the Pocket Pro, as it's called.
Well, they need to save space there somewhere.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, so Lights Out's in there. But that was pretty good. That was a bit of a surprise as well. Because the first thing, I was talking to King Kaiju Collectibles about it. And he said, oh, did you get Mortal Kombat? Because I know he's got it. And I said, no. And then,
5 minutes later.
5 minutes later, it's in there. But I've already spoken to him because he's got a boxedtiger.com.
Oh, wow.
So I might have to have some discussions. And one other thing quickly before we move on. Right in the middle of the table here, I've got a big box that's called Barcode Battler. Now, Anto, do you know anything about Barcode Battler?
I do. I didn't have one as a kid, but I knew people who did. The best way I can describe it from memory, because I haven't looked at the box or anything just yet, think Digimon, but instead of, being given a pre-assigned or predetermined monster, you can literally just walk into a grocery store, scan anything, and it will give you a mishmash of monster bits and stats based on the tin of soup you've scanned.
Yep.
It's a really cool, interesting concept.
Any barcode.
Anything.
Any barcode anywhere in the world, you can scan it. It gives you randomized stats, and you battle it against other barcodes.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
It was just a super cool... I think it was released around the time like Pokemon and Digimon were first sort of making waves.
Yep.
Tried to capitalize on that and just sort of didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, no, and when I heard about it back in the 90s, I went, oh, that's cool, but never saw one. Again, at this gentleman's place yesterday. Saw it there. I went, oh, awesome. I always wanted one of them, blah, blah, blah. He goes, oh, did you? Yeah. Oh, $20.
Yeah.
Deal.
I mean, Floppy got some cool stuff as well.
He did.
From
He
memory, he picked up a boxed PSP Go, which was Sony's first foray into digital-only anything. Well, outside of their MP3 players. He also got the Simpsons PSP 2000, the one that came out to celebrate the launch of a Simpsons video game.
Yep.
Couple of other bits, GameCube games, Dreamcast stuff, like folders full of Dreamcast discs. Like, this guy's got a gold mine of a house.
Not anymore.
And he lives in Mount Barker.
No,
I'm not telling you the real address because I want to go there next week. Shut up, everyone.
No, this is it was quite good. I did spend a lot of money there, so there's a reason why he gave me this stuff really, really cheap, because Nintendo stuff is not cheap. But I filled out a lot of holes. I got Tokyo Mirage Sessions
On the Wii U?
on the Wii U.
Oh, it's such a better release on there.
I got Paper Mario on the Wii U.
Color Splash.
Color Splash. I got Wario Game & Watch. I got heaps of Wii games that I was missing for my collection as well. Yeah, just super fun, super cool. And he threw in a whole heap of freebies as well.
Yeah, if anyone made it down to the, was it Comic and Toy Fair last year?
Yep.
I picked up a in-box, so a complete in-box, Neo Geo Pocket Color, which had, at the time, the first non-Sega platform Sonic game on it. And I think they chucked in like 6 or 7 other games, and I spent not even $300
Oh, that's
on it.
also, yeah, I was going through all these amiibo, because my daughter collects Animal Crossing amiibo, and there was one in there that she wanted. And there's like probably 20, 25 amiibo in there. Your common ones, but there was also Pokemon ones in there.
Well,
Fire Emblem.
The Game & Watch one as well, with all the different standees of his shapes and stuff.
Yep. And I said, oh, okay. So I was picking out, I grabbed the Fire Emblem ones because they're ones that I don't have that are fairly sought after. And he once again goes, oh, look, just take the whole thing. And then because I was talking about Jazz, who is in
the cheese
love
behind
with
the
Disney,
keys today.
because they were also, he and his partner were big Disney fans as well. And he said, oh, look, grab this. And he grabbed sort of like this Disney book off the shelf and said, oh, she might be interested in this. It's like a treasure trove for the
Oh,
things.
that's what that thing is.
Yeah, and then some other stuff. Oh, take this Disney stuff, see if she wants it. It's like just really, really cool. Anyway.
They're just really good dudes.
His name is Peter. He lives at Mount
Barker.
Peter at Mount Barker is where you need to go. Certainly no garage sales around the area. But you know who else likes
Garage sales?
garage sales and selling their garages to people who do need a garage in order to keep all their useless crap that they get from people? Are the fine people that sponsor this show.
There's little eyes. Ah! Oh my God, I love him. Why is it a hat? Not the doggos. I can't even read anymore. Ah! I can't even do it anymore. I have to finish this game.
Hello everyone, we're back, and so glad that you're here with us to also be back. We can be back buddies. I don't know what that means, but let's find out together in this crazy thing we call
life. I don't know.
back again. Back to
Backstreet's
back.
back.
Back to the bone. Back door man. That was a song in the 90s. Really problematic.
Was it?
Anyway, speaking of problematic, Anto.
I'm not problematic. What are you
No,
talking about?
but many of our Patreons aren't also.
It could be problematic if you're not subscribed to the Patreon.
That's right.
That's where we're going with this. So, if you want to support the show, help. I would say help Ben finance all of his stuff, but he doesn't pay for stuff with the Patreon money, so that's fine. If you want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/hackthedino. For $1 a month, you get access to our private Hack The Dino Discord.
And what's something we did last weekend or the weekend before with all the Dino Patreons in there?
Fantasy Critic.
The Fantasy Critic. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good fun. I haven't made any bids yet because I'm pretty sure everyone spent all their money on stuff and I missed out because I was asleep.
No. See, this is the beauty of it. A lot of people, and I'm saying this now, and a lot of them are in the chat, so I'm revealing it now. You just sit back and let them spend all their money.
So what you're saying is I've forgotten stuff in a good way.
Games will be released throughout the year, and they won't have enough money to bid on them. So if Final Fantasy 25 gets announced...
yeah, they're going to skip 17 to 24.
They've already spent all their money, so you can just come in and like that's what I did last year with the host one. I had heaps of money left, knowing that if something got announced really, really cool, I could outbid Braden and Floppy on it.
Right, okay, that makes sense.
So it's pretty good not to blow your load too early.
Anyway, so yeah, for $1, you can join us for stuff like that. Blowing Ben's load.
It's a little bit... Actually, no, I'd probably have to pay you.
For $2, you get your name added to the list that is scrolling along the bottom of the show. So featuring such famous people as Nintenvania, Karen Knight, Ash Knight, Mike Towns, myself. Hey, it's Anto. Hi, me.
You've got Sinitz
Thanks,
stuff.
me. I didn't know how to say it. I didn't want to offend anyone. For $10 a month, you get an extra monthly show called Dino More. So that goes out to only people who are paying $10 a month.
And above.
And above, obviously. $15, you get the post-show, so you get to hang out with us for a little bit of time after the show every fortnight. And you get a chance to quiz on our faces. That's quiz.
Sorry, what?
Not jizz. Quiz.
Oh, I thought it was the other one.
No, it's not the other one.
Oh.
You wanted it to be the other one, but it's not. And I'm not going to say it.
So what is that exactly?
So quiz on your face. Yeah.
It's a game
I need
we
an
play.
adult.
No, if that's happening, you don't want an adult with
It's
you,
a game that we play. It has, I guess, superseded or superannuated Braydan versus the world for reasons.
It's a quiz we play, a multiple choice quiz. You have the opportunity to submit a quiz to it for Anto and Floppy to try and guess. I'm only cutting you off because I've only just remembered I forgot to message Michael Towns and Dylan the Villain this week to get their quiz questions. Sorry.
Hey, if you can send them through to Ben quickly, I guess we can still do them. Don't post them in the chat because that'd be silly.
Yeah, maybe we can do them, maybe not. Maybe next week it'll just be Michael Towns and Dylan the Villain.
Maybe we'll just double up on questions next fortnight.
Yeah, maybe.
Cool.
Maybe we'll do that. What's next? What's after that?
$25. For $25, you can supply us with a video ad. So if you do anything creatively outside of watching us and outside of your general lives as humans and not robots, we can run it in the show for you. So yeah, that's a thing.
That you can do.
And you also get all of the previous tier access when you pay $25. So you get access to the Discord, the extra shows, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So very, very big thank you, as you can see down the bottom of the screen. Thank you to all of our Patreons who go over to hackthedino.com and support us. And it's with that money that we are able to buy new lights and possibly a new computer soon, because that thing is about to get an axe through it. I swear to you, it's...
Yeah, I said I'd do tech support. I'm not going to destroy it.
Yeah, it's punchy time.
No quiz November. Maybe.
Anto.
Hello.
Have you heard of a little machine called the Nintendo Switch?
I have. I've been hearing some really good and impressive things about its numbers.
Well, you're about to hear one more thing, and that one more thing is that the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, the little handheld that could, has now eclipsed PlayStation 1 in terms of sales. So for the week ending January 15th, 2021, the Switch sold 341,662 units to bring its lifetime sales up to 102.81 million units worldwide.
Is an insane number considering where we are in its life cycle.
Yeah, so this compares to the PlayStation that had total lifetime sales of 102.5 million units.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Now, first of all, did we think this would happen? And did we think this would happen so soon? Because I believe it was last show, so 2 weeks ago, where we were talking about the Switch eclipsing...
The PS2.
Yeah, the PS... No, not the PS2. This is the best-selling console of all time.
No, we were talking about that.
I know, but it actually did eclipse something, and I can't remember what it was.
The original Wii.
Yes, there you go. Yes,
There
it
you go.
eclipsed the Wii. So now, 2 weeks later, it is just burnt through. Now it's above the PlayStation 1. I was honestly quite shocked.
I was and I wasn't.
Really?
I did a bit of thinking about, like, you know, the time frame that it came out in and things like inflation and how the video game landscape has changed in the last 25 years. It's impressive on one hand because, you know, it's a big number. And it's not also because there are way more people playing video games.
Yeah, true. And
Like-
there's also been a global pandemic where people wanted to play. I mean, that's the whole reason Animal Crossing did so amazingly well, is because people... I think there's a little bit of fear of missing out, but also it was just a really cool, wholesome game
Yeah.
that you could go to your friends' islands and actually visit them. And feel
FOMO
like you
and
were-
escapism.
Yeah, that's what you
Yeah.
need when the world's coming crashing down. So they say. So it is now, the Switch is now the 5th best-selling video game platform of all time.
That's crazy. Especially after the Wii U.
Yeah.
Like,
This is
What
I
a
was
change.
Having this discussion the other day with someone, Nintendo is so frustrating. Like, you look at their history, the NES, pretty good.
gangbusters.
Game Boy,
Gangbusters.
very good. Super Nintendo, extremely good. Nintendo 64, great system, did not sell well. GameCube, great system, one of my favorite systems ever, did not sell well.
Most powerful of its generation.
It's a great console.
It is.
I
Fantastic
played it
system.
just the other day. Then we had so GameCube, then it was the Wii. Boom, absolutely went stratospheric. Then the Wii U. And then of course the Switch. And of course the Game Boy iterations in between them, which, you know, they've never really had a bad one. I think the Micro didn't sell too well. But...
Yeah, the Micro missed out a lot of
Oh,
stuff,
Virtual
like-
Boy. We forgot
Yeah,
the
Virtual Boy.
How could we forget you? I have a Virtual Boy just there. It gives me headaches.
Yeah, it'll do that. That's why it didn't sell well.
But yeah, Nintendo's very frustrating. Like, okay, they take risks and they take chances, but I don't understand how it can ebb and flow so much. Like, so much.
Yeah. It's one of those weird things where you wish sometimes they would just sort of hop on board with what other companies are doing, but then if they didn't do what Nintendo do,
Don't say it. Don't.
then we wouldn't have what we have now, is what I was going to say. What did you think I was going to say?
I thought it was going to be a Nintendo don't.
No, I wasn't going to Genesis does everyone. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's
Doesn't do
definitely
much anymore, does it?
It's just one of those things. Like, you know, the Wii was marketed towards casual people and people who didn't play games, and then the sort of casual aspect of the Wii led into the Wii U's failure, and then they went, crap, time to do a U-turn, and now we've got the Switch. So, yeah, I don't know.
As Michael Towns is pointing out in the chat as well, Nintendo has enough cash in the bank to fail 2 or 3 gens in a row before taking a hit.
Yep, I've read and heard that from, like, investors and market people all over, like, Kotaku and comicbook.com.
Because every single one of their systems makes money.
Yeah.
Whereas Sony and Microsoft and other game consoles, they will take a hit on the console manufacturer and make it up in software. Nintendo, nope, they're making a profit each and every console.
Yeah, they tried the let's make a cutting-edge system with the GameCube, and it didn't work for them. And they've never gone back to that sort of mentality with system design and production ever. So, yeah.
So next up on the Nintendo Switch hit block, we have got PlayStation 4, which has sold an estimated 116.58 million units to date. However, the PlayStation 4 is still available for purchase. So just have to put that out there as well. So that number could go up. Although, how much? Well, it depends on how many PlayStation 5s they get out.
They said they were going to keep producing them as well because of a shortage of PS5s, but...
Then after the PlayStation 4, once they've taken that, we have the Game Boy plus Game Boy Color range at 118.69 million units.
Wow, they're really not far off.
No, they're not.
From the next targets. Like, that's like 13.7 million units away from the PS4.
Yep.
And 15.8 from...
Oh, wow, look at that maths.
Yeah, look at the maths.
Look at
Totally
that,
not using a cheat sheet.
Just in your head, just like that. And then, of course, we've got the PlayStation 2, which is 120 million plus consoles, and is the best-selling console of all time. They're not going to get there.
I think they will.
You think that it's going to beat the
think they're gonna do
PlayStation 2?
I think they'll do it.
How?
Switch OLED for one. It's going to supersede a lot of old systems from launch. Like, you bought an OLED to replace your launch one.
Yeah, but I also bought 5 Switches in total, and I've got a problem.
Exactly. But that's why they're going to do it. They still might release a Pro or a Super Nintendo Switch, which is, I think, what they should call it.
They won't.
Do it, you cowards.
They won't release... They're going to release a new console. They won't release an upgrade.
But if they do, that's how they beat the PS2. And the fact that households have bought more than one, like, it's just how they're going to do it. It's absolutely going to happen. I think the Switch has got potential to do it. Whether Nintendo follow through or not is...
So they're 8 years into their console life now? 2017?
17, so it'll be 5 years.
5 years. So, all right, so they're definitely way over the halfway mark.
Well over halfway mark.
I just don't see them... Like, all right, it's been an astronomical success, but they've also learnt from the Wii U. You can't follow up with something that's the same. You can't confuse your audience.
That's exactly it. People thought the Wii U control pad was an add-on for the Wii, and that's why no one wanted one.
Yeah, because we don't need it. You need to make something completely new with a completely new name. Mm-hmm. Even calling it Super Nintendo Switch, parents will just go, no, you've got a Switch at home. You're not having one. I don't know. I think they will go with a new console before they upgrade anything. It's just weird we're getting Breath of the Wild 2 this year.
Yeah, I mean, that might sell systems for people who don't already have it or, bought the first one on Wii U for whatever reason instead of getting a Switch.
Well, I bought it because I have a problem. Didn't play it on the Wii U. It's just for my collection.
It's still sealed.
Speaking of...
Video game anticipation?
Sure. We decided to get the 10 most anticipated games for 2022 and put them in a nice list for you to devour with your eyes. Just munch them all down with your eye teeth. And first up, in no particular order, these are just 10 games that we're really looking forward to coming out in 2022. First up, we have Sifu. Basically, every time the playable character dies, they come back as an older version of themselves. A metaphor for the experience we gain as we age. I really like it. I really think this is going to knock it out of the park. I think Floppy was down on this. I don't think he was looking forward to it at all.
I think I seem to remember Floppy saying he wasn't super jazzed for this, but every time I see a trailer or gameplay of this, I get more excited for it.
Just the whole idea of, for me, it was seeing you get defeated by thugs, and then you die, but you don't die. You pass out, but then you age, and then you come back. It just shows the amount of experience you've had to put into training in order to level up, in order to overcome that obstacle. I just thought it was a really, really cool concept. I think it looks awesome. I'm assuming we're seeing gameplay here. I'm assuming that's what the game will look like without a HUD.
I'm hoping it's this. If it looks not like this, it's going to be a disappointment to me personally. Like, the art style is really nice. But
also gives a whole range to what am I trying to say? The progression. So, you know how in a game you have lives? Like in an old Mario game, you would have lives, and you have 5 lives, and then once you have the 5 lives, that's it, game over. With this, I can see it being, all right, you've got 5 age ups.
Okay.
And once you got through your last one, you die of old age, and then that's it, game over. So you have to get better in order to prevent you aging up.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
In order to get to the end.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how
I think that'd be sick.
Foresee it coming. Yeah, looks really, really cool. Really looking forward to it. It comes out February?
Yeah, February 2022 this year. To answer your question very quickly, Dylan, it's very similar to something like Streets of Rage or River City Girls. Not side-scrolling, obviously, but it's very much like a 3D brawler. If you ever played anything like Def Jam for New York or Def Jam Vendetta, something like that, just way more focused on martial arts.
Or Fortnite.
What?
What's the next one we're looking forward to, Anta?
I mean, not me personally.
Oh, really?
Controversial opinion, maybe.
All right, we'll read out and then explain
Horizon
why.
Forbidden West.
Ooh.
So
Floppy's going to hate you.
Floppy and I have had this conversation once, and he told me, look, just play it on easy mode. You'll enjoy it more.
It's true.
So Forbidden West is promising to answer a lot of the questions and sort of mysteries that were still present in the original Horizon Zero Dawn.
What were some of those questions?
I don't know because I didn't finish it.
Oh, so you got lots of unanswered questions.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not the right person to talk about this game, so
Well-
I'm going to throw over to you.
Sure, as someone who's never played this game but owns it, I'd like to say, no, I am looking forward to this. From the reviews, the previews I've been reading of industry people who have got access to this game already, the one comment that comes through in all these previews is that they've taken every single thing that was great in Horizon Zero Dawn and made it better.
Okay.
They've upgraded it. They made it cooler.
Because my issue with it was, for as cool as it looks and everything that just... The presentation, the gameplay feels good. Like, it's just a good package. It just feels like it takes far too long to do anything, even combat. And I think that's why Floppy told me to play on easy mode.
The one thing that really turned me off of not playing it is the whole crafting as you go thing. I don't like crafting in games. Like, I'm an old man. I like everything being sort of set up and ready to go.
Give me the Master Sword and that's it, done.
No, not so much that. Because Breath of the Wild was a different kind of crafting. Like, you just lost your weapon and had to get another one. That's different. I actually didn't mind that. But the whole, I'm out of arrows, now I have to go get sticks and twine and find a spot where I can sit there and bang a hammer for a couple of animations.
It's busy work inside something that's meant to be fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's grinding without fun.
I say that, but I play an MMO, so I don't know. Hypocrite, maybe?
So I would like to play this game. I haven't played the first. I don't know. If we get a review copy, I'll steal it off Floppy just to annoy him. No, I wouldn't. I'd give it to Floppy. But this is, I know Game Boy Dad is his Game of the Year prediction so far, which is a big call. And I know Floppy is extremely looking forward to this, so I don't think there'll be many gaming sessions with Floppy while he's going through this one.
Yeah, this will be his pick for a while, I think.
All right. Do you want to... Actually, I'll go into Elden Ring because I think the one after that you'll want to talk about for 20 minutes.
I'll take the next one.
Which
I won't
is-
take 20 minutes, though. I
Oh,
promise.
well, we've got the time, so you might as well. So start thinking now. But the next game we are looking forward to in 2022 is Elden Ring, which has gone gold and is officially coming out this year. 2 weeks.
Wow, 2 weeks.
Well, 2 weeks after Forbidden West.
Okay.
So Braden mentioned last show that when Horizon Zero Dawn came out, people were blown away by it. 2 weeks later, Breath of the Wild came out, and everyone forgot about Horizon. He was worried that Horizon Forbidden West is going to have the same thing with Elden Ring because people are frothing over Elden Ring. I do not know why. Is George R.R. Martin doing a Souls-like game? Is that the size of it?
He basically wrote the story and backstory and the lore and all that sort of stuff for it.
I've got it right here on my notes. Hideki Miyazaki, creator of Dark Souls, has teamed up with the Song of Fire and Ice author George R.R. Martin for Elden Ring.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty much what we need. It's a Dark Souls game with Game of Thrones level storytelling.
Open world RPG set in medieval land filled with dragons and demigods.
Yeah.
Ooh. And see, this is what I don't get about the Souls-likes. When is it might just be me, but when is it fun to get so frustrated that you keep on dying and can't defeat a boss? Are you just chasing that dopamine hit when you finally do defeat it? Because I don't have time for that.
It's an interesting one, and I've got some friends who, the Souls series is their favorite series of all time. It's just the lore, the world, the universe, it's perfect, and the gameplay is what they like most about it, I think. For me, I play to a certain point, and if I get frustrated, I stop, and then I go back to it. I don't understand the mentality of beating your head against a wall until you're bleeding, and then, wait for sort of the dopamine, as you mentioned, but... I don't know. There's something to be said that Dark Souls is probably more... I feel like it's more aimed towards people who grew up playing like Castlevania on the NES, because it's the sort of game that you play repeatedly and over again to get better and a little bit further every time. And it's got that very old school game design sort of philosophy of pattern recognition. You need to learn this fight, learn the mechanics, and just do better next time. So it's definitely not, and I hate this term, it's definitely not for someone who plays video games casually.
Me.
It's aimed at someone who either has lots of time, lots of patience, a bit of both, or is just a masochist.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I not for me. Not for me. I wanted to try Bloodborne once, and downloaded it on my PS4, and then just wasn't brave enough to give it a go. I mean, 'cause I don't have a lot of time to get into. Like I had last year, I did not finish a game at all. I know Floppy
even
was
one?
not even one.
Wow.
Did not roll credits on a single game last year.
Not even Pokemon?
Oh, Pokemon. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, Pokemon I did.
There you go.
But the other one, well, it's because you can play that with your eyes closed. Like I can be asleep finishing that
Yeah,
thing.
that's true.
But it's just a time thing for me, a time sink. I'm at
Yeah.
that point of life now where for me to be able to jump in, play 15, 20 minutes and be able to jump out, it's great. Pokemon's like that. Like Arceus, I can tell is going to be like that. I can jump in for 20 minutes. Again, I bring it up all the time and everyone loves it and loves me talking about it. But Fortnite, I can jump in, do the daily tasks and be done in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just that fun, relaxing time. Games for me are a way to relax because I played them so much as a kid. I have that, I won't say affirmation, but that's not the word I'm looking for.
Association?
Association, that's the one. Association with just sitting down, relaxing, playing a game, and enjoying it. And that were the type of games that I grew up with anyway, the old NES games that were hard as hell, but they had to be hard as hell because you only got one game a year, and that game had to last you to your next birthday or Christmas. Otherwise...
Yeah. No, what's really weird about NES games?
What's
and
that?
Super Nintendo games as well? No one complained when they cost like $200, like Earthbound.
Yeah,
But now a $70 game is too much.
Well, that's because people are...
Stupid.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Just going to say it.
I'm going to get that on a shirt. All right, Anto, you're up.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay, so March 18th. I don't know if this is a super anticipated one for anyone but me. But given what we've just discussed about Souls games, it's probably not for most people. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin is coming out on March 18th. From what's been sort of shown off and revealed on this one, this is a reboot / reimagining of the first Final Fantasy game.
But done as a Souls-like.
But done as a Souls-like. It's being developed by Team Ninja, who were responsible for the Neo series. It's basically Dark Souls with samurais. Yeah, it's just... I don't know. I don't really know how to sort of speak with an unbiased opinion on this one.
No, don't. I'm biased all the time. Openly so.
But yeah, it's... I don't know. Final Fantasy 1 has always been very bare bones, very basic. And yeah, I think going into this with the expectation of it being a remake like 7 Remake is probably a bad idea. But if you want an action game that's not quite as difficult as any of the Dark Souls series or games like it, this is probably a good stepping in point. It's multiplayer. You can play with 3 people at once. So it's got online co-op.
Do you have to, though?
You don't have to. You can switch between your characters if you're playing solo.
Okay.
Which is
but
cool.
Does the computer AI, like, really suck? Is the
Not that
computer
I've
AI
experienced.
at Ben level, basically? It's like you're
Probably
playing
not.
with Ben.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So much better.
Probably a little bit better.
good.
But yeah, it's a retelling of Final Fantasy 1. The whole plot is that you are stuck in a time loop where Chaos, the god of destruction, is trying to end the world and you've got to stop him. And for some reason, the main character is called Jack and not something cool like Cloud or Squall or Tidus.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I don't know. He's just called Jack Garland. I don't know.
No. What was that last name you said?
Tidus.
Shosha Titus.
But yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for it.
Who names their kid Titus?
I always thought it was Tidus because 10 was set and like themed around oceans, but apparently it's not.
It should be.
It should be because it sounds less stupid.
I reckon someone was having you on.
No,
Titus.
it's the official voice acting gives it the name Tidus, which is dumb.
Yeah, but that's English voice acting, and they're always wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited for it. I got my pre-order down a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to be playing through this with one of the guys I play Final Fantasy 14 with. He's platinumed all of Dark Souls.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, he likes these kinds of games.
Does he ever see light?
Yes, he's actually my boss.
Oh. Well.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I think if you want to sort of give this kind of game a shot, this is probably the better one to jump in with. It's a little bit faster than Dark Souls and a little bit more forgiving. And you don't need to know a huge amount about Final Fantasy to stop in. So, yeah, I'd give it a shot.
Speaking of not knowing a lot about Final Fantasy, the following game character would also not know a lot about Final Fantasy because they're a cat. I'm talking, of course, Stray. Stray's coming out, Michael Town's game and a Braden game as well.
Very much a Braden game.
I'm very much looking forward to this. So I've got one line here which I think describes Stray perfectly. You play as a lost cat exploring a cyberpunk world where robots drink alcohol. What more could you want? And that is my TED Talk on Stray. I'm very much looking forward to playing this cute little animal as it goes around with his robot friend, solving mysteries and perhaps getting into some hijinks.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Next up.
Next up is Starfield. So it's the first new IP from Bethesda in 25 years. It's being billed as effectively Skyrim or Elder Scrolls, but in space. Apparently the tagline is search for the answer to life's greatest mysteries.
So where my socks keep going.
Yes, because the dryer doesn't have them.
I don't have a dryer. That's
there
what's
you go,
crazy. Like, what's going on? I don't have a dryer and my socks just keep disappearing. I'm glad I'm bringing up this real worn and tired cliche, but I was reading something and I need to make a joke, like, really, really quick.
That's all good.
You excited for this one? You going to play this one?
Nope.
Neither. I'm interested.
If I'm honest, I've got an Xbox. Like Coda and I got one as part of a Telstra plan because we got 3 years of Games Pass with it for nothing or something.
Good plan.
Yeah, like I don't know, something about this game in particular. Like I'm not a big Elder Scrolls fan, which is weird because I like fantasy games and I like Fallout. I like the formula and how the games play. But Skyrim just sort of made me go, nah, don't like this. And honestly, they've done nothing with anything really outside of Doom from Bethesda has really sort of piqued my interest in years.
Yeah, I mean...
So,
I was hoping that this was going to be everything that No Man's Sky was. Well, wasn't.
Wasn't to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, I understand No Man's Sky is really, really good now, but to me, it's still a battery sim.
Yeah.
I want an exploration game. And if I was really hoping this was going to be like a multi-planet exploration game. I mean, the cutscenes look great, but you can't really...
Yeah, like it looks interesting. Like it looks as sort of spacey and futuristic as you would want a game like this to be. I don't know. I feel like you need some sort of cataclysmic, the world is ending event to grab my attention, or comedy where you're using web shooters to get caught on a Fortnite car and floppy drives you through a building. I don't know. Like it just doesn't grab me, and honestly, nothing Xbox really has in a long time.
Right, do you want to read out the next two? Because I've got the last two, and they're doozies. So
yeah,
go for the next two, Anto.
So the next one, God of War Ragnarok.
Excited.
Sequel. Yeah, it's exciting. Like I'm pumped for this one.
I'm more excited to play it for the story than I am to actually play the game.
That's fair.
I'm more excited to see the continuation of these characters.
No, that's totally fair. The way Kratos was captured in original 2018 God of War was just brilliant.
I liken it to the original God of Wars. When you first played him, it was frat boy Kratos.
Yep.
And now he's grown up into old man Ben Kratos. Like this, hates everything. And like his son annoys him.
You need a big axe.
Yeah.
You just need a big axe. But yeah, sequel to God of War continues the story ongoing with him and Atreus. Thor has been shown off. You get to fight him. That's pretty cool.
Yep. And he's proper Thor too. He's not pretty boy Thor.
He's not Chris Hemsworth. He's a big hench dude.
He is. He's gonna mess me up.
Yeah. No, it's very exciting, and like if it's anything like 2018 God of War was, where it pushed the PS4 Pro, it's gonna look brilliant. It's gonna play and just look fantastic.
PS4 as well.
This is getting a PS4 and PS5 release.
Yeah, see, that worries me.
I'm hoping they just do everything they can for both ports to push everything they can like out of the systems.
The only apprehension I have on it, again, because I love the storytelling so much, is the fact that Corey Barlog isn't directing it anymore. He's still in charge of the story. Alana Pierce is writing for this as well. Well-known Australian video game commentator. You should go and follow her if you're not already. She's brilliant. And Anthony Birch, who is Ashley Birch's brother, who is also the DM of Dungeons and Daddies. Extremely funny person. Like, super funny, super quick-witted. So I've got a lot of faith there, but also a little bit of apprehension because someone new's coming in.
Yeah, understandable. It's like the only thing I can compare it to is when the lead writer for Mass Effect 1 and 2 left, and 3 wasn't quite as good because of it.
No, really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, that ending.
Yeah, 3 colours.
The
colour
very
choices.
first time that the internet got their way, and we regretted it ever since. All right, what's the other game?
Next one is going to be a favourite of Verity when it comes out. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. We don't know 100% if it is 100% like an open world kind of Kirby game. It looks to be that way. Yeah, it's kind of got a very similar vibe to Mario Odyssey in terms of how it's been presented.
That's not what I wrote.
That's not what I'm reading.
I'm going to read out what I wrote. And
Yeah,
then
you can.
continue.
Oh, Last of Us. That's why I didn't read it.
So, my quote here is, it gives me Last of Us vibes. Let's hope Kirby's mini golf game isn't in it.
Ah, sorry, it's terrible, but it's funny. I'm excited for this. I haven't played a Kirby game since
Well, it's because
Epic Yarn.
traditionally, Kirby signals the death of a system.
What?
Go back and look at the release dates. Whenever a system or a console is dying, there's a Kirby game. It's the final nail in the coffin for that system. Old Kirby, the big old death knell of every video game system that there
When
is.
did Kirby come out on N64?
I don't know.
That's what I'm Googling.
Okay. But while you're
Oh, you're
Googling
right.
that-
It came out like 2 days before the GameCube launched.
well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can head on over to hackthedino.com and give me my money in Patreon form. Okay, so the 9th most sought after game or most anticipated game this year is, no surprise to anyone, Legend of Zelda 2. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2.
Bring it out.
Cannot wait. I am getting so many Majora's Mask vibes from this trailer.
I'm thinking Majora's Mask Twilight Princess.
Yeah, no, not so much Twilight Princess. Majora's Mask for me is the only time a game sequel, like when I got it and they'd reused all the assets and it was a smaller game and everything, I thought, but then as you got into it, this game was amazing. Yep. They actually made the NPCs fleshed out and like made you care about them.
Yeah.
And pretty much every NPC had a side quest for you to complete. And you went through and did it all. But this is the type of vibe I'm getting. I think, obviously, they've shown a lot of the sky and with links to Skyward Sword as well, that we're looking at maybe we're going up there a lot more. Link, of course, has his new ability to go through walls.
It's for green twizzly.
If that is
particle effects
indeed
that make
Link.
me think Twilight Princess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're all tied together. No one knows where it falls in the Zelda timeline. They did it on purpose. So, like, they weren't bogged down in continuity. I'm still waiting for the epic Zelda game where multiverse style, they have to bring Link from every single game all together and you have to play as all of them to defeat every Ganon ever.
No Way Home, but with Zelda. That would be fun. That would be fun.
No, this game's going to be exceptional. I honestly cannot wait. And the number one most anticipated game of 2022. That's right. People were clamoring for it. People could not get enough of it. Any tiny bit of news coming out, people would absolutely bunter over it. I am, of course, talking about the soon-to-be surefire classic, Abandoned by Blue Box Games. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. There was an update on December 24 on their official site with heaps and heaps of news, which is kind of weird. You know, December 24, something happens around then where a lot of people may not be paying attention. So it doesn't make sense that you put an update on your most hyped up game ever to get buried in the holiday stuff. That's crazy. Anyway, Abandoned has been in development since 2017.
Look at what Jazz said.
Oh, that's right. So on the screen now, we can see footage of Abandon, which is, for the podcast listeners, I found footage of just large piles of poo steaming.
Oh, dear.
Abandon has been in development since 2017, but it only became the studio's main focus earlier this year after the game was officially announced. Abandoned's playable prologue has been delayed out of 2021 and into Q1 2022 with, and I quote, the game reveal being around the corner. So the gameplay reveal is going to be around the corner, everyone. Wow.
Okay, but the gameplay reveal being around the corner is akin to them saying, hey, here's our tech demo. It's been 3 years in the making, and then that got delayed.
It's an asset flip. This game is an asset flip.
This game's going to... Even if it
It's
comes
not a
out, it's
game.
going to suck.
It is not a game.
It's
The post also mentions a playable tech demo that will be launching on the Real-Time Experience app in 2022, as well as that's meant to showcase the technology behind the game. However, Blue Box doesn't clarify if that's going to be the same as the prologue or if it will be a different release altogether.
I think Prolag is right because it's never coming out.
This game.
Honestly, like it's It's so easily readable. It's such an obvious pun, but this game has been abandoned. It is not going to come out.
No, it hasn't been abandoned. Like, he just thought he could troll the internet and found out the hard way that, no, you cannot, good sir.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Anto,
Hello.
do you know what it's time for?
Deals!
Oh, you don't get scared.
No, I don't. I know it's coming.
All right. So coming out on... Well, sorry. This is the part where we look at free games or deals that you should be paying attention to on your old video game consoles. That's right. We do the research and find out what games you want to spend your money on, but not as much money as they would be full price.
Yes.
So the best game I could find this week on the Nintendo Switch is a little-known game, but sure to be a surefire classic. It's called AAA Clock. Now, this game, AAA Clock, was $7.50, but now it's only $3. So in this game on the Switch, it turns your Switch into a clock, with the selling point being you can take the clock with you and tell the time anywhere, at any time, day or night. You know, for those of us who don't have phones or wristwatches.
Game & Watch.
So they're showing the show reel here. There's also...
it's got a game in it.
It's got one hidden game that you have to find.
Amazing. Does it only come out at, like...
It's a bonus
the
game.
witching hour between 12 and 1 a.m.?
12 and 12:01. So there you go. For the little amount of $3, you can get AAA Clock.
Hey, Ben.
Yes,
Do you like River City Girls?
I do.
Do you like Streets of Rage?
I do.
Games like that?
I very much do.
Well,
River City Rampage more so.
River City Rampage was a good one. If you like those kinds of games, on PlayStation, so PS4 and PS5, Scott Pilgrim, the game, has been brought down from $22.95 to $11.47. A very specific discount.
Love this game.
But this game is fantastic.
I have the physical copy. I got limited run.
Me too.
I got the soundtrack included.
I got the, not the super duper mega DJ box version. I think Triple Indie bought that one.
Yeah, I don't think he's got it yet.
I don't think it's appeared yet, but I got the classic release that came in like a Mega Drive style case and came with like the soundtrack and some pins and bits and bobs.
I got the Nintendo one. Who would have thought?
I got Nintendo one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It didn't feel right playing this on a PlayStation. Again, for some reason, this feels like a Nintendo game, like couch co-op, like...
Well, I play mine on the Switch,
Yeah.
but amazing game. I played this when it came out originally on the 360. In fact, my 360 still has it installed.
I played the demo because I never had the money as a teenager to buy it.
Wow. Yeah, great game. So it was $22.95, now $11.47. And I think you want to talk about the next game as well.
Ooh, the next one's a pretty good one. You sure you don't want to take this one?
No, go for it.
Again, so sort of similar to Scott Pilgrim, if you like beat-em-ups and fighting games, the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection has been dropped from $39.95 to $19.97.
Yep. 50% off. Everyone should get this. It has every single Street Fighter 2
absolutely
iteration.
should get this.
And Street Fighter Alpha as well.
Street Fighter 2, the collection, like all of the releases. I believe it comes with Fighting Street / Street Fighter as well as a
Fighting
hidden
Street's in
release. I think so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And if you buy it on PlayStation, you get a digital download version of Ultra Street Fighter 4 as well.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that. I've got it on Switch, so I might buy it on the PlayStation.
You got a digital download if you bought this on PlayStation and Xbox of Ultra Street Fighter 4, which still has active servers, so that could be fun.
You know what else is fun? It wasn't this release, but one of the releases on PlayStation, I think it was one of the collection ones, but you could choose like Street Fighter 2 Turbo Ryu and play against Street Fighter 3 Ryu.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's just weird.
Yeah, with the hitboxes as well. So you got, if you played Street Fighter 2 Turbo
Original
Ryu.
Street Fighter Arcade, not Fighting Street. Thank you, Triple Indie.
All right. And over on the old PS Plus for February, those games have been announced.
Plus?
You get UFC 4, you get Planet Coaster, and the one that I'm pretty excited about, you get Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep.
This one was a DLC
Yeah.
for Borderlands
Correct.
2?
Yep.
I never played this. What's it like?
I've never played it either.
Oh, damn
Braden did. I'm looking forward to Tiny Tina's Wonderland coming out. It's basically,
Expanded
D&D.
this, right?
Yeah. Can't wait.
I feel like
Cannot
this
wait.
is something that would be right up my alley. Like, I like D&D. I liked Borderlands. Like, I don't know. I might give this a go before the next one comes out.
Yeah, I think it comes out later in the month. I don't know. I should probably check my news.
It's not going to come out later this month. That'll be 2 days from now.
That's good. Pointing out of my errors
That's
of
all right.
speaking. So I'm still in December. Like, my
Yeah,
head
I'm
is-
still in March 2020. Like, honestly,
And lastly, on Game Pass. Now, this came out a couple of weeks back, but we didn't mention it because we were running along that show. And this show, we got plenty of time. So, kick off your shoes, sit back, have a Chianti, and relax with your sax.
What?
Anyway, Game Pass. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is out now and available to play. And coming out last week, which I'm very excited about. And glad I haven't cancelled my Game Pass yet because I want to play this game. Death's Door is now on Game Pass. You played Death's Door yet?
No, I've been waiting for it to hit Game Pass, so I don't have to buy it.
You're in luck. And I feel guilty, but it's, again, a game that I know I won't be able to sit down and play for a large amount of times. Cannot stress that people need to play this enough. It's a wonderful game from a Queensland development company.
Oh, it was a development studio. Cool.
Yeah. Well, the Raven that you play is actually a magpie.
Not to sound like Clive Palmer, but support homegrown, lads.
You do sound like that.
I really don't sound like Clive Palmer. Don't you dare.
No, so you can breathe and announce it.
I'm also not as rotund.
Do you know what Clive Palmer doesn't like?
He doesn't like whizzing on your face.
He does not. He's still suing me. It's time for Quiz on Your Face! Hey! Well, this is where I usually ask for 2 questions from our Patreons, but I forgot this week, so next week we'll make it up to you. Sorry, people. But I have here 4 questions. Each has multiple choice answers. A, B, C, or D. I will read the question. Jazz, you're in on this as well.
Okay.
I was just about to ask, is this not to... I lost last week, so I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I don't know anything about your video gaming habits, Jazz, so I don't know what your knowledge is like, so maybe this is unfair?
It's very minimal. Don't worry.
I mean, it's multiple choice, so I guess, there's a good, 50-50 shot that you'll get an answer right?
25%. Yeah.
25%, there we go, math.
10%.
All right, so here we go. I've got 4 questions here. These are all chosen by me, and then next week we'll do the Patreon special.
So I take my glasses off so that I can't see Ben's computer screen.
Correct. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. So I'll read out the question. I will read out the multiple choices. And then if you think you know, yell out your name and I'll go to you. You can yell out early if you think you know the answer, but Anto found out last week that's not very wise.
Yeah, because we only get one answer. It's not like Breakdown versus the World.
Nope. No, it is not.
Man, I cannot see anything. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to look at your screen.
Good. Okay. Question number 1. What was the first video game console played in space? Was it A, the Atari 2600, B, the Nintendo Game Boy, C, the Famicom, or D, the Atari VCS as a part of an elaborate marketing stunt? Who wants to...
Anto.
Anto?
I'm going to take a guess and probably be wrong.
Yes?
I'm going to guess it's the Atari VCS as part of an elaborate marketing stunt.
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
Jazz, do you want a free go? Free try?
Wasn't it Game Boy?
It was the Game Boy!
I wanted to say Game Boy, but as soon as you said elaborate marketing stunt, I was like, oh no, it's that. Damn it.
Isn't that the only portable one?
It
Correct.
is.
Correct.
It is.
So Jasmine gets a point there. So Jasmine is now beating both Anto and Brayden.
I mean, it's not really fair to put Braden on here anymore, is it?
Sure it is. He tried. He was part of it. Anyone who sits here and has a go goes on the board.
okay,
So at the end of
cool.
the year, we can see who the overall winner is.
All right, well, as long as I get 1 point and I beat Braden, it's fine.
Okay. This one, I will be very surprised if you get wrong.
Okay. Oh, God, pressure.
Chrono Trigger
Oh, God.
is one of the greatest games in existence.
It sounds very, very objective.
There's no follow-up question to that statement. I just need it on record again. How many endings does it have?
Oh, God.
A, 3, B, 9, C, 13, or D, 24?
Anto,
Anto?
24.
It is not 24.
Damn it.
Jazz, you want to take a guess?
13?
It is 13!
Damn it!
Why
As soon as you said 13, I was like, okay, that sounds right. And then you said 24, and I was like, nah, it's got to be that.
So,
Damn.
Jazz is now equal with Floppy.
My knowledge extends to video game music, I'll have you know. 0 if you don't like it.
All right, here we go. Question number 3. Race and Chase was the name of which famous game before it was changed from a racing game into an adventure game? Was it A, Diddy Kong Racing, B. Ridge Racer, C. GTA, or D. Fast and the Furious Crossroads?
Can you repeat the question? Because I missed the first part.
Race and Chase was the name of which famous game before it was changed from a racing game into an adventure game? A. Diddy Kong Racing, B. Ridge Racer, C. GTA, or D. Fast and the Furious Crossroads?
I feel like I know it,
Well, say your name.
but I also don't want to answer first.
Jazz,
I'll
you
go
want
first. Is it B?
B. Ridge Racer?
Yeah.
That is incorrect.
Okay, cool.
It's Diddy Kong Racing. It's A.
So you're saying A. Diddy
Yeah.
Kong Racing? That is incorrect.
What? Really?
It was GTA.
Are you kidding me?
So I've got a little bit of a little diatribe here about that. During a test run, a glitch made the police cars attack the player. The glitch was so well received by testers that the developers had to scrap the original concept and rebuild the game around high-speed police chases.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I had no idea.
It's pretty
Absolutely
cool.
no idea.
All right, here we go. Last one. A little bit of video game history here. Space Invaders was released in Japan in 1978. It was so popular it caused A. a shortage of 100 yen coins, B. a shortage in rental properties, C. mass panic as the belief was that the real aliens were headed to Japan, or D. mass panic as the belief that Olivia Newton-John was headed to Japan.
What? I'm going to say it's not the last one.
Okay, well, that's not the name of the game. So which one do you think it is? Come on.
I'm just going to hedge my bets. Anto.
Yep.
A. 100 yen coins.
Correct. A shortage of 100 yen coins. Woo! Anto's finally on the board.
Oh, yeah.
So going through the leaderboard at the end of that round of Quiz Your Face Off, or whatever it is.
Quiz on your face.
Okay. Floppy is on 2 points. Jazz is on 2 points. Anto is on 1 point. And Braden is on 0 points.
Suck it, Braden.
But everyone out there in video game land, I trust that your digitized personas can now escape from your digital prison and roam in the real world once again, only to find out that that real world was really the digital world, just a higher res one. And you need to escape from that digital world and go into the real world, which is really the Matrix. But then it's not. Help me. Anyway, Anto, what do you do with yourself? What's something?
That's a very personal question.
what's something people can do to look at you while you shower?
I'm not comfortable answering that question, I don't think.
Okay, where can
But you can find me
Okay,
at
good.
Instagram.
Unit 6, 14.
I mean, you're off. You can find me
Then
on
who
Instagram.
have I been watching?
I don't know. I'm on Instagram under Yo It's Anto. The profile picture is of I've forgotten his name.
Cloud?
No, it's not Cloud. It's a Persona character.
Oh.
Monster.
It's Joker.
No, it's not. It's like one of the Personas. Anyway, whatever. It's a Persona creature. I think it's like Jack Frost. There we go. Him. I don't really do a whole lot on there other than share Hack The Dino stuff sometimes.
Way to sell your stuff.
But yeah, occasionally, like depending on how rare or exciting the thing that I get is, I'll occasionally put things like my video game collections and picks up. I think the most recent one I did was I managed to pick up. It was one of the Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core branded PSPs, which got a limited run of 77,777 units. I found one of those in a cash converters for a couple of $100, which was
Wow.
good.
Couple of $100.
Couple of hundred. Yeah, they go on eBay for 4, 5, 6 quite often.
Wow.
I was on Facebook. I'm now no longer on Facebook.
Wise choice.
Yeah, just I don't know, just didn't want to be there anymore. And occasionally I'll be on Twitch under the Hack The Dino channel. Haven't been recently because, as we discussed at the start of the show, I'm currently resetting my sleep schedule for overnight shifts. And yeah, that's going about as well as you can expect it would go. Not great so far.
I just gotta say, yuck.
Yeah, the money's going to be good, but I'm not enjoying the prospect of... Actually, no, I am quite excited for it, to be honest. Like, peace and quiet, getting to... Yeah, I'm not going to say anything more. It's fine.
Way to end the show on an upbeat level.
Yeah, you can also check out Floppy, who's normally here doing what I'm doing, at Floppy Plays Games. Similar to myself and what you do. He puts up pictures of what he's playing, what he's picked up, what he's found. Yeah,
and you can head on over to @MrBenjamin, where I put up all pics of all my pickups that I get. There probably won't be any for a little bit because
You've
I
got
spent
a lot
all
to
my
post
money.
pictures of.
Well, I think I kind of did that last night. I got carried away. I was going to hold off, but as I was cleaning all the cases and everything, I'll just take a picture of that.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
just take
fair.
a picture of that. But I will put them all up eventually. Or you can head on over to Bad Game Arts, where I find the very worst game art that video game history has to offer. Jazz, I don't know if you can bring up Bad Game Arts at Instagram so we can maybe have a look at some of the ones that went up this week. But man, I didn't know that there was this much bad game art. I thought getting into this deep, I've been doing it for probably about 6 to 8 months now. I thought I'd start run out of game art that was just awful.
Just terrible.
No, there's heaps out there.
Yeah, there's loads.
There is so much bad game art out there at all. How are we going with that, Jazz?
I can't find it.
Instagram.com/badgamearts with an S on the end
Oh, okay.
because bad game art was taken.
Yeah,
So I just
we
put
had
an
to
S
get
on the end.
creative.
Is this it?
That's the
Yeah,
one.
there we go.
So if you can click on just next to Alien Syndrome, so second one down, the Time Voyager one. If you can click on that one, the next one across.
Alien Syndrome works too. Discount Xenomorph.
No, other one, other way. That's the way. We can see on the screen here the Bible Time Voyager video game machine. So you get 12 Bible games built right in, and it plugs directly into your TV, and you can play the Bible. So that's we can see here just a controller hooked up to a TV.
You get to experience the flood of biblical proportions in real time.
Yeah, whatever you do, just do not play Judas in the game. Cannot recommend that enough.
It does look like a Dreamcast or a Saturn controller, doesn't it?
It does. And if we go across to the next bit of bad game art that we had up on there, Jazz, you can see Eggerland Mystery.
What?
So I've put here, the mystery is, what the F is going on here? We can see in the bottom left-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner there, I should say, a blue Julius Caesar with green hair. Then we got some kind of dinosaur with,
Looks like the bubble dinosaurs.
inbreeding, so he's got a massive chin. Then we've got a cute little bow person, and then a skull.
And a bunch of daggers.
I think it's made by HAL Laboratories as well, who made Kirby.
Yeah. Don't know what was going on there.
And then next, we have got the classic game, Axe Battler, A Legend of Golden Axe. I just want to point out there's no axe in this picture.
No, there's really not.
You got your muscle-bound person with lots of six-packs fighting a red
Several six-packs.
with a red dragon bird and a skeleton with horns.
Say what you will.
Yep.
Golden Axe was a pretty good game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Side-scroll and beat 'em up.
Did it have an axe in it? Because Axe Battler doesn't even spell the word axe
Battler
right.
uses a sword. I can't remember what the dwarf was called, but he used an axe.
Right.
He's also the best character. You could run and headbutt people.
Who used the E that they're missing from the title?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Look, they couldn't even copy it right.
I mean, it's probably sculpted into those abs somewhere, right?
Nah, it's probably his abs probably ate it. Just saved it for later. And finally, the last little
Oh,
bit.
that makes so much sense.
What's that?
Triple Indy said he's the one who battles the axe.
Yeah.
He is. The final boss is a dude with a giant axe.
Right.
Axe battler. Battles axes.
Right.
It just makes sense.
Still don't get it.
It's fine.
Next. This is the most realist interpretation of karate I have ever seen. It's international karate with Ken and Ryu tryhards just fucking shit up. If I can be quite honest, this shit stinks like shit.
So this is what happens when you say you can't play Fortnite, you're going training, you're actually punching dudes in red, like, karate gis
not
outside
even
the Statue of Liberty.
He's sort of patting him on the shoulder. While the other guy, like, what even is that? Like, I can see what they're trying to say there. He's trying to do a reverse block, but it's all wrong.
It just looks like the Statue of Liberty's been asset flipped, like just completely horizontally flipped, and instead of side-eyeing the dude's doing karate, is looking the other way.
Anyway, that's Bad Game Arts over on Instagram. So be sure to go in there and have a good old chuckle.
That's so stupid.
Quite a fun time. There's some real disturbing stuff coming up. Like,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
just see that. If the FBI ever gets to my phone and has a look through it, I'm in trouble.
I have, if possible, if not post-show is fine, there is a trailer that I need you to see
We
specifically.
will do that in post-show. If
Okay.
you'd like to join us over in the post-show, head on over to hackthedino.com and be sure to sign up at the post-show level.
I will post it in the Discord later for those who don't get to see the post-show.
Oh,
because it's
jeez.
brilliant.
But
It's
there's
so bad.
also other stuff you can check out over on hackthedino.com, such as go and rate our podcasts over on Spotify now. You know, you can do that. Head on over to Spotify, give us 5 stars. Head on over to Apple iTunes, give us 5 stars. Give us less stars if you want, but we'll come around and mess you up. You can head on over to youtube.com/hackthedino as well and find us on YouTube where I put up daily shorts, also over on our TikTok and other social medias, Instagram, all of those things. Check us out, hackthedino.com.
Dino only fans.
No.
No. Okay.
This is generally where the show stops. Here. Right here. Right around.